Evening, everybody. Yes, a 6-goal thriller at Home Park yesterday. Massive improvements going on. You've got myself, Mike the Crazy Pilgrim, Andy the Grumpy Loyal, and Marcus with you tonight. So let's run Oh, gents. Well. What a performance that was yesterday. Oh, hang on, let me just change here. So, what
The
did you
Three
think of that,
Stooges.
Andy? 6 goals. We took the lead 3 times, couldn't hold on to it, and sadly, Andy came away with a point. But so many positives to take, yeah?
Yeah. They got to give up dog walking, haven't they? Argyle. They can't hold on to leads.
What?
Dog walking. They can't hold on to leads. It's all right.
Sorry, I was just trying to adjust something. But
yeah, they can't hold on to their leads, can they?
Oh, I'm with you.
Anyway.
Sorry. Yeah. Classic jokes available to you from the Block 9 podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
It was a cracking game, to be fair.
Yeah. So
for a neutral.
Yeah. So sorry, I've got my daughter sat next to me. Can't see her in the camera, but so trying to make sure she doesn't touch anything. Bless her. But yeah, Marcus, it was a second game where we saw really big improvements. And do you know what? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? This is the same squad that couldn't perform games before that. So big changes obviously have happened in some form.
Some major changes happen. It's like we've gone back to the Schumacher days, one end to the other. It's incredible how the team has changed within a couple of games.
Yeah, well, we did see signs of this type of style in the first part of the season, didn't we? Before it all went Pete Tong from the Leeds game onwards. To be fair,
yeah, but back then we had all the players fit. This is the team that was terrible. So all of a sudden, how has become a totally different player? So it's like it's chalk and cheese, isn't it? The two different teams where we're playing.
Yeah, no, it was, and I think that's whether it was Shuttleworth going, Phelan coming in. I've sort of said on a few comments on social that Phelan even said in his interviews that he couldn't, sort of do anything in that first phase of him joining between Swansea and Sheffield United. So some credit maybe has to be given to Rooney, but he stuck with the same lineup against Sheffield United. In fairness. I mean, I must admit, though, Andy, that first 10 minutes, we were sat there thinking, I certainly was, my Lord, maybe United was a bit of a positive blip and now we've gone back to what we were. And then they suddenly got into their rhythm, and we just controlled a lot of the game thereafter, really. So it was a relief, but that first 10 minutes was nervous.
Well, I mean, how they weren't sort of 2 up in the first 10, 15 minutes is beyond me because they had a couple of chances right, shots in front of goal. It's like, whoa, crumbs. If they go in and their shooting boots are on, that's 2-0 down within 10 minutes and game over probably.
Yeah.
But thankfully, they didn't have their shooting boots on.
No, absolutely. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to adjust to get the right graphics at the moment. But So first of all, welcome to those that have joined us. I can see there's a few in here. I'm aware that Argyle Life have gone live early this Sunday, so I'm sure there's a few people that are crossed over to there. But look, we welcome everybody. We are the Block 9 podcast. Just to clarify, myself, Andy, Marcus, and Carl, who's had a bad bout of the flu, so can't join us again tonight. The one night where he wasn't working a late shift. Must admit, I've had a bit of it today as well. So trying to sort of like dose myself up to stay free of it. But yeah, so cracking on. So stuck with the same lineup. Poor first 10 minutes, 63% possession overall. And certainly in the second half, that was the strongest because in fairness, that first 10 was all about Middlesborough. Sort of some good, strong penalty shouts in the game, as well as obviously the 6 goals, which we'll come on to. And I have got some VT of those goals so we can talk through and see that as well. Finazaz, he was quiet. A lot of the game he was quiet and obviously got subbed late on 84 minutes. So no headlines for Finazaz against us, which was good. Rami Al-Haj, though, Marcus, sort of showing some spells of what, we had and what we lost with Azaz, in the game today, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but he don't seem to like playing against us for some reason.
What, deliberately?
Well, let's put it this way: the last time he came off with 5 minutes in the second half, so he doesn't seem to play well against us. And that game he got told off for talking to our fans.
Gotcha. Oh, right. Did he? I didn't realise that.
So he hasn't raised this game against us at all. So hopefully that may continue, and hopefully that'll continue up there.
Yeah, well, look, he's a great player. We do miss him. He was a brilliant personality as well to have down here, So, but yeah, I was expecting. I mean, in that first 10 minutes where they were coming forward, there was a few sort of nervous moments as certainly their wing players. Is it Doak, if I pronounce that right, and McGree? Who were looking very sharp and catching out both Galloway and Mumba. So but they then couldn't really. I don't actually in the whole of the first half. I don't recall them having a shot on target. In fairness. So that just sort of showed how resilient Argyle were in controlling the ball. And as soon as they started, Andy, to spread it out to the wide men again, that's where this difference, sort of has sort of come by, and there were still spells though where there was frustration with taking too long, whether it was Grimshaw or Gibson, like plenty of room and space in front of him, and he just wasn't then going forward. But once they got into that rhythm, they did do that, and certainly Bundu on that right channel. Obviously we're going to talk about Bundu a fair bit, but he was just superb, wasn't he?
On that side, on that right side, we look really good, apart from sort of Mumba messing it up near the end. But we went at them, didn't we? We actually got in their faces, did what we should have been doing, early on, earlier in the game rather than later in the game, getting in their faces, making sure that we sort of high pressed them, and that's what worked for us, the high press. And if you look at all the goals, the ball sort of came from the wide area across the box and into the back of the net. So that it's obviously something they've worked on. Getting the wide man up there.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing, isn't it? It's almost, sort of. Whereas this, I mean, because it is Sheffield United was a big difference, off the back of Swansea, which felt like every other game, and that should have been a winnable game at home, and then you go to United, top of the league, and we managed to sort of hold them off and actually play well against them. But these sides, and I think it's apparent with the comeback from Middlesbrough, and we'll go on about like two mistakes leading up to the second and third goal. If you give these top quality sides the chance at goal, they will take it, and that was evident. So hugely frustrating because we could have prevented that, but with the significant improvements, Andy, you can't just suddenly expect every area of the sort of team or every area of the play to be perfect. I'm still sort of in shock really at this turnaround.
Yeah, I just think going forward, we've been the last two games certainly we've been magnificent, and it's been really working well for us. But yeah, Sheffield United, we couldn't get anything up there, but I mean, it goes to show that we can score goals. One thing is concerning, that our forwards aren't scoring goals. Your Ryan Hardy's not scoring goals and people like that. But when you got sort of Bundu out there popping up with the odd goal, then that's helping us. And midfielders chipping in on one as well. So go on. Massive improvement. We need to sort of focus on the back now, defending.
Yeah, we do. Excuse me. It's one of those, and just evening it as well to Ben, who's joined us again with Rich, as always. Appreciate that, and Danny, who's joined us tonight as well. Guys, put your comments in the comments box, whatever platform you are on, and if you can, please reshare as well. That would be much appreciated as we grow what we do. And I've said before, if you've joined us, we try and bring a bit of a difference to others. I normally have a slide deck going on with the team lineup and the stats and stuff, but I've been massively busy today and not being 100%, so we don't all have that today. So you just got to look at our faces for the majority of the of the show.
Poor souls.
Yeah, exactly. So key moments in the game then. So we had 9 minutes in, Obafemi going off with an injury. Does anybody know how bad that is? Have we had any feedback from the club yet?
I don't know if it's groin, or was it like groin or something? Because he went down quite quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, it was groin.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that could be a few weeks. Yeah, I know. Hardy obviously come on to in a second. I know Izaka. The reason why I believe Obafemi went off and then came back on was because Izaka wasn't ready and had to run to the dressing room to get either his boots or something to come onto the pitch. I mean, you don't expect to make a substitution that early on, but it's sort of a risky one bringing him back on, doing more damage to that groin. But anyway, he did come off on 9 minutes. Izaka coming on for him, who I felt because of as well the style of attacking play, he definitely got more into the game and suits that style. 38 minutes in, Gibson got his goal off the back of a set piece corner, and he scored with his head. We'll show those in a minute. 15 minutes in, then obviously Middlesbrough equalised, and that was frustrating after going into the half. Being quite strong and dominant. Hardy then goes off with a gash to his knee, and that was off the back of chasing down. I don't know if it was Doak, whoever it was that was sprinting forward. It might have been a sub, and try to stretch out his leg to disrupt and tackle him, and then he come off with a gash to his knee. I thought it was his groin again because that's, as we know, is what he's been holding. And then Galloway goes off as well with an injury, which that's Galloway all over. Sadly, that's the risk that we know we take with him. And then obviously as we come in, they make a few substitutions as well. JB then makes it 2-1. The subs come after JB scores from Carrick, so wanting to change it up. And then we come to sort of the first key moment, Andy. Ogbetter pits in a tackle because the player is going to outrun him. It might, whoever it was on the right, again at that point. And free kick, and then the ball comes into the box. Smashed Grimshaw pulls off a great save actually, but the force of the save rebounds it straight back to him. I think it was the same player, and he slots it into the goal. And you're just like, that was a needless foul to give away.
It was just deflated. Yeah, it was a silly foul to give away, but also, the ball could have gone anywhere. The initial shot went in, Grimshaw made a great save. It went straight back out to a Middlesbrough player, and it's just like, wasn't landing on Argyle's feet. We weren't alert enough in that defence, were we?
No, we'll see that goal in a minute.
So frustrating.
Yeah, it was. And sort of the team though, and what's really good is off the back of Middlesbrough getting taking these leads back and going to 2-2 again. It's just like, oh, okay, but the team just carried on fighting, carried on dominating the play a bit. It wasn't like Middlesbrough took too much of a hold of the game in the second half. And then obviously, we get the opportunity where Ogbetter, in fairness to him, and I didn't see this at the time, Gavin made me aware of it earlier when I was WhatsApping him. He was going to try and join us tonight, but can't. He said, Ogbetter put in the cross for Bundu's, third goal. And it was a good ball. I think, I don't know who it was, whether it was Gray or someone tried to stick their foot to it, but, sort of almost like Bundu was just running straight in and perfect positioning and gets the ball in the back of the net. And he deserved that goal, to be fair, because he helped
100%.
with a lot of the game, into that. And then we think, can we hold on now and keep this lead? There's still about 10 minutes plus injury time to go. And sadly, when you think that by that stage, we really probably should have taken a bit more of a hold of the game, Marcus, and slowed it down a bit. Mumba with a rush of blood because we were having the momentum, starts to charge from the back. No one around him, hits a hard touch in front of himself, which he was doing a lot in the game. And then they come at us, win a corner, and straight from that corner, they smash in for the equaliser. So those two decisions cost us the 3 points, Marcus, don't you think?
Yeah, but I think that's the way the fullbacks or wing backs defend. I think they're put a lot of pressure on Gibson and Souks because the defending has been quite poor this season. So it's not the first time they've done that. But when you score a goal, you've got to calm it down for the next 5 minutes. But we don't. We seem to go a bit too gun-ho. We can't keep on playing like that. But the performance is brilliant, but defending is shocking.
Yeah, I think it was one of those where you just, I'm going to switch the view up again if it will let me. It's just one of those where I said at the start, it was a huge improvement and really, really positive. It like can't stress enough, as I'm sure a lot of you that have joined us, will agree that that significant shift change is great to see. That home park was buzzing yesterday, which we haven't had for a while, and getting behind the squad after going behind, to get back and get some more goals, so it was a shame not to go into Christmas with 3 points. It's a shame to go into Christmas bottom of the league, but at the end of the day, there's those improvements there, and we still got a lot of players to come back in. But this is what I mean by, if they can sort of, with Phelan, Rooney, however they, will structure things now, they've got to obviously work on the defending at set pieces, and players just need to be a bit smarter. We're not trying to go gun ho and just calm it down a little bit, which is what Mumba could have done, Andy, couldn't he? Calmed it down, slowed it down, but that has to be his worst game for me that I've seen all season.
See, I look at that differently from you, Mike. I'm probably Mumba's biggest critic this season, right? But I thought he had quite a good game when he was attacking, when he was running down those channels. He was actually quite dangerous going forward. It's at the back he seems to get stuck in the mud, didn't he, and sort of mess up. And he always gets exposed in that sort of position, didn't he, when he's playing at the back. Do you know what? Yeah, I mean, Denport was a loud old game. It was loud old game. 12th man turned up, big style, and I think it lifted the players. But yeah, going back to Mumba, going forward, he's fantastic going forward, and I thought he's going to get out on the end of something in a minute and put a cross in for someone to score. And I think did he get an assist? No, he didn't get an assist yesterday. But yeah, he's frustrating because he does get a little rush of blood and he slips over quite a lot, doesn't he? And but his sense of gravity is amazing. Yeah.
It was more, he came alive towards the end of the second half, where he had that. He did have a couple of runs down. I mean, to be fair, Fotmob scored him not the lowest, actually. That went to Randall, but they gave him a number of 6.3. But yeah, he talking about heavy touches. He was also having a go at Rami Al-Haj when I think it was Hardy was going off, and you could see it in the centre circle. And I think Rami Al-Haj was almost going, yeah, you get your act together, and I'll do mine. But it's for me. It was just like, oh, Mumba, what's going on? And I can't wait for Sissoko to come back, because that is what supports that. Mumba playing with another quality player, up in front of him. That's going to be, it's definitely going to be one that I'm looking forward to seeing again, for sure.
I think it also dispels the myth like that the players, aren't playing for Rooney. I think they are playing for Rooney, and I think the last two performances they've really upped their game. They want to play for the manager. Obviously, Mick Phelan coming in has made a big difference, in all aspects of the team, because he can see it from afar what needs to be changed and what needs to be done, and the players he's putting in the right position. And so I think having him there as well is going to steady the ship. It's going to steady Wayne Rooney for a start. He's going to have someone around him with a bit more sort of coaching noose around him. Yeah, so I think it's going to work well for us in the long run.
Yeah, it is, and I think sort of it was nervous against Swansea, because it was a poor showing, and come the end of the season, or whatever, it'd be interesting to know what has really changed things, apart from the obvious. Shuttleworth going, and I mean it with all with the nicest of respect, because he might not have been the issue, but Phelan coming in, like I said, against United, wouldn't have had a huge amount of time. He said that himself, but certainly for this game, he'd have had a good week with the players. But it's good. It's good to know that actually, do you know what? Where we ourselves, Marcus, sort of talked about the squad issue, the injuries, and we were really, we were very supportive of Rooney. For those that followed us all season, we have been, because we don't want to act like a firing club. But I mean, for Marcus and Carl, who's not with us tonight, it got very testing. But at the end of the day, whatever's changed is a positive, 100%.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't mind Rooney coming, but 5 months ago it should have been Phelan, not Shuttleworth.
Yeah.
But I know Phelan did say that he can't really work much on the training ground to January because he's got a game here twice a week, sort of thing. But it's his presence, a bloke's presence, has raised the fans' morale and raised the players' morale. Just in being there, it's got some of the games. the fans have been quite quiet, expecting a defeat before they started. But like in the last couple of games, they've been very vocal.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you could understand why, you know, fans have felt like that. You know, no one likes to see the club in the situation or position that it's in, but it is very easy to react, overreact, you know. And, you know, who would you have got in? You know, we don't want to bring that whole conversation up about Schumacher or Lowe or whatever, but effectively, look, we've seemingly turned a corner, so let's take the positives from that. So I'll come on to the stats on that in a minute, but let's just have a look through the goals. So, as I said to everybody that's watching us, welcome for those that are just joining us. We are the Block 9 podcast. You have myself, Mike the Crazy Pilgrim, with Andy the Grumpy Loyal, and Marcus, who just goes by Marcus.
Sergeant Major Williams.
That's it, yeah. And we've been doing this since the sort of start of the season. You know, we wanted to put our views and points across for those who want to listen, and we started doing it initially on TikTok, which went really well, and then decided we want to bring it across to the audience that's on X, which is a big audience for Argyle, and equally YouTube. So give us a follow. You've got at Block 9 Podcast on Facebook, X, and on YouTube, and obviously you got myself. There's the Crazy Pilgrim, Andy and Marcus, also on X actively, and certainly myself and Andy active on TikTok. So please come and give us a follow there. So, like I said, we like to bring a point of difference. So I have got a little VT, care of Sky Sports' highlights to bring up to next. So we should go through those highlights and then let's have a look at how that went. So Lewis Gibson's first goal off the back of the corner. Rami Al-Hajra, some great footwork out wide to Galloway, and that was a flick on from Hardy with Gibson hitting with his head. Good to see a defender score again, Andy.
Yeah, brilliant.
Let me just turn that volume down a little bit.
Reminds me of Coughlin.
Yeah, well, there was two big chances actually. Sky have only picked up on this one.
Chance.
Yeah, we had the JB one that was hit over the bar from close range as well in the first half. So here's the comeback goal in the second half. There we go. Look, and on this replay, I think it's on this replay. Look whose legs it goes through, which is just gutting when you see it. So this is the shot, cross into the box. There you go, Ryan Hardy in front of Grimshaw, right through his legs, look, and actually deflects it into the goal. So Darko JB to make it goal number 3, put Argyle 2-1 up. Bundu, again, great work down the wing and thumped in by JB. Actually, the number 5, I think it was the number 5, who flicked in the build-up, but actually got us the throw-in that led up to this goal. So that was more entertaining to see that. Here's the comeback, look, off the rebound, straight in, and that actually goes on Grimshaw's left side on the rebound. But yeah, look at that. Just the pace on it. Bundu then to bring it 3-2, deserved a goal, absolute credit all game. You know, great ball whipped in by Ugbeta for Bundu then just to knock it in. Almost walked it in off his chest. There we go. Off his thigh. So, and then the equaliser again off Mumba's silly decision, overhitting the ball, causing us to get them to get a corner off the back of the attack, and then they go and score. And I think Richard or someone actually picked this in about. There we go. Let's go back to our view. Said about it was Richard who said, I think it was this one. Got an issue with Middlesbrough third. Why was no one on the back post? Yeah, totally free. And actually, it was Mumba who was caught in no man's land, really ball watching as well at times for those goals. So look, it is what it is. It's frustrating, but this is the point. Middlesbrough are a team that have been scoring goals and are very confident, Andy, aren't they? And if you give them two easy opportunities to create set pieces, which we are not very good at defending at times, you're going to run that risk, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I said earlier on, there should have been like 2 goals up in the first 10, 15 minutes, you know. They were good at going forward and looked really dangerous going forward, didn't they? And working the ball around with pace as well. It's only until we started quite on that sort of attacking formation that we actually got into the game a bit more. But yeah, they were dangerous all the way through the game, and you just knew that Lath was going to score. As soon as he came onto the pitch, I think I said to Ray,
Yeah.
16 or Sam, he's going to score in a minute, and this Lath because he's just so dangerous. He's a sort of striker we want in our club.
One of the three subs that came on before that equaliser. So yeah, it's look, they've got that quality there, but again, as we said, Argyle more than controlled the game yesterday. The possession shows that 63 overall. The bulk of that coming from that sort of after that 10 minutes coming in to the second half. We said early on at the start of the session, those first 10 minutes were nervous because we did look disjointed. But a big topic that came up in our WhatsApp chat. So we had Carl, who was suffering with the flu, so was at home. So he couldn't come to the game either because he's been that bad, and his little daughter's not very well either, and is in Derriford getting checked out. So we wish her well and get better soon, Sophia. So Grimshaw. Now this, sort of, there was a lot of Marcus. Obviously, I know you're sort of of the same mindset with Carl,
Right.
myself, and Andy are probably not as are on side with Grimshaw in fairness, but he actually was the lowest scored rating, 5.7. Looking at FOTMob. Yeah, go on, Marcus. Give us your view.
He seems a lot like picking the ball out of the back of net a lot, and his organising the defence is terrible. He's not a big goalkeeper. He might be good, like playing out, but everything else is poor. The crossing, he don't command his defence. He don't come for crosses.
Yeah.
So, with that mistake, the third goal, Cooper would have been shouting at Mumba for that. He didn't say nothing.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I couldn't see all the type of play going on with Grimshaw. I think it's one of those. There's a a conundrum really, because I don't believe that you can blame Grimshaw for a lot of the goals that have gone in. The defense up until and in my opinion, the defense played well overall. It was just those silly decisions that led to creating the set piece chances that got them the two goals. But for me, I think he is a very good shot stopper. I was always, and everybody that's followed me on TikTok, X, etc., I have been a big advocate of Hazard when a lot of others weren't over last season. I just think Grimshaw is the type of goalkeeper that suits the style of play for Rooney. And overall, I think there was one big save, actually, one-on-one, Andy, wasn't there, where he stopped us. I can't remember if it was for them to go 3-2 up. It might have been, actually. But yeah, Andy, where are you sat on the Grimshaw Hazard situation then?
I think your keeper's only as good as the defence that plays in front of you, and there were lots of mistakes in defence yesterday. We already highlighted Mumba, better, giving the free kick away. He couldn't do much about the second goal. I agree with Richard. Richard said something in the comment section on YouTube about there was no one actually on the back post where Lath put that ball into the net for the third goal.
Yeah.
And that needs to be addressed. Who's picking him up? Who's supposed to be picking him up? Whoever it was, they weren't there because he just put the ball into an empty net, more or less. The only space he had there was, and he put it into it. Second goal, he could have done better, but he, to be fair, he did save the initial shot, rebounded straight to their player back in the net again. First goal, can't really fault him for that. I don't know. You've got to look at your defense there. You've got to look at who's picking up who and who's marking who. And your midfielders certainly dropping back to help out, because we shouldn't have conceded those goals as easy as that. And they were all sloppy goals. They were, they're put away nicely, but
I think Andy, what opposition have noticed, and this is one of Carl's points, which I don't Marcus, which I don't disagree with. As you can see, Richard's in agreement as well with Marcus on there, but is his lack of height, and even on the first from recollection, the ball from that that was whipped in, it was sort of it just he doesn't come out, does he? And I think that's where opposition are taking advantage of that. You put in a deep enough corner down the keeper's throat where he's not tall, so he's not commanding in the box at times, and you might get a scramble where you can get on the end of it. And I think that's why we saw Hardy back, defending as well, to get everybody behind there, as many tall players as you can, to help support it. So that is probably his weakness, but I think he is a fantastic shot stopper. He does get down quick. He does block very, very well. And my opinion, better than Hazard. But Rooney might decide that it needs a change. And Hazard may get a chance.
I thought he started playing well, Hazard, before he got his injury. He had 2 or 3 games before that where he played really well and kept. I don't know if he kept clean sheets, but he sort of kept the score down, and we've just been leaking goals. Whether you've got, I think if Hazard was a goal yesterday, we'd still be the same. We'd still concede 3 because of the defense in front of you. It was just defensive errors yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, and one of the other things I said to actually Ray, your friend who sits next to us, is, do you think now Hazard is back, fully fit, that's got to add a little bit of pressure on Grimshaw, hasn't it? Because now he's got to fight for his place. He's not, necessarily guaranteed it. So do you think there's a few nerves settling in there?
Possible. There possibly is. He wants to keep the number 1 shirt, doesn't he? Or in this case, whatever his number is. But he wants to stay amongst the sticks and play games regularly. But if he's known that Hazard's now fit again, then his role is under threat, if you like. So it could play into his mind. But if he's a pro keeper, then he should be sort of looking at that. Thinking, I'm going to keep my place here.
Go on, Marcus.
He's a footballer. You should expect that. You shouldn't. No one should be guaranteed a place.
Yeah, absolutely.
There should always be competition.
Yeah, sorry, I got my daughter who's coughing as well right next to me. If
you can hear that on the mic, it sounds like she's going down with it as well.
Yeah, well, she's had it. The wife's had it really bad all week. Sophie's had a chesty cough all week. So yeah, I dosed up on some Lemsip. And also, if you saw my TikTok video with my Vicks First Defense little plug, but that's more for colds, which I don't have, and I have been using that. So, but yeah, no, I think, look, Richard's picked up on there.
Yeah, good point there, Richard. Yeah, sorry, Mike, go on.
No, go on, Andy, go on.
I was going to say exactly the same as you were going to say. Did some research. Only 7 goals conceded before Connor got injured. And that speaks a lot for Connor Hazard, doesn't it? And now we've sort of shipped in 20-odd goals.
Yeah, it does.
The thing
we
is,
also had a full squad then, didn't we?
The thing is, that cross went over. Would Hazard have got it? Because he's 6'6", isn't he?
Yeah.
But I tell you what, though, Connor hasn't, in the nicest way, big advocate of his, like I said, but Connor Hazard hasn't always been, like, one of his weaknesses in the first half of last season, he wasn't commanding enough in his box for the size of him. He did superb the second half of the season, for me. So, look, it's one of those things where, Grimshaw does lack that height, but in terms of his playing out with the ball and the way that Rooney wants to play tactically, I have no confidence when Hazard is trying to distribute the ball back under pressure as well.
Yeah,
but
you're bringing that into his game. Sorry, Marcus, go on.
Yeah, but you're saying that Grimshaw's actually no smaller than Cooper. Cooper's just about the same height as Grimshaw. So I don't think it's necessarily on the height. I think it's more confidence.
Yeah, it's literally confidence, isn't it? If you can play the ball out from the back like Grimshaw does, then Hazard would be a great keeper because he is a great shot stopper.
Yeah, no, and look, you can tell when Marcus wants to get his point across because he sits up, folks. All right, so
Sergeant Richard Williams, lovely boy.
Yeah, don't worry about it. He sits up. So, but no, look, Ben's pick. We went to see the players turn up yesterday. I couldn't believe how short Grimshaw was. So look, let's see what happens. I did say it a good few games ago when we weren't conceding so many that I felt he was impressing me and started to make me think. And don't shoot me down, folks, but I thought he was starting to look as good as Cooper and was a good replacement. And I think once he settles in time will tell. So we shall see. But yeah. So look, I think if I have a quick look at FOTMob on the ratings overall, let's pick out a few players. So Galloway 7.5 obviously came off with that injury on 71 minutes, which doesn't. I think it was Richard said is a bad one. So that's going to be frustrating because we did say last Sunday that we felt this was our best back four. So losing him if Ogbetter's the only option, but got to give Ogbetta some chance with a squad that is playing out and attacking better. Gibson was solid again. Zooks, he got a 7.2. Zooks a 6.2. I felt they were both okay, but Gibson's difference is taking that ball from the back, and when he did drive forward through the middle and was able then to spread it out, that helped a lot, and that's where I think he's worth those extra points in the game. Mumba, as I said, 6.3. We've talked about that. JB 8.3.
He was outstanding.
The highest one on there. He just looked. I think he knew how important that sitter was against United, and then that miss in the first half, and then when he scored that goal yesterday, if you saw it on the video that we just showed, and also videos elsewhere, it was almost like, Gray, get off my shirt. I want to go off and celebrate. Gray was trying to spin him around left, right, and centre. A lot of emotion came out, in that his first senior goal, and it's like. The celebration went on for ages, didn't it, with the crowd in the Mayflower? It was great to see.
It was. He had a chance earlier on, though, Mike, didn't he? And I think I don't know who played it across the box there, but he had a chance and he tried to side foot it into the net rather than put his laces through it. Just got to hit that. If he hit that, he got a chance of that ended up in the back of the net as well.
Yeah, it's everything. I know you said, Andy, early on that it's not our strikers that are getting the goals. Certainly not yesterday. I mean, obviously, against Watford, Gray got 2, didn't he? But it's been typical of Argyle for many a season to score goals across the squad, isn't it? Gibson getting goals where normally it would be Scar on set pieces. We haven't seen, I think, a defensive header go in for a while. So that was good. Yes, ironically, one of the guys. I don't know if it was Ed, Ray's son, or one of the guys behind me, said, "Oh, we haven't had a defender score from a header in ages," and then literally minutes before the goal went in. So that was quite funny. But yeah. Randall, I thought Randall had an okay game. I noticed he was very aggressive, almost like he's been told again and again, get stuck in, and then start clipping at the heels of these players and pit them off. But any obvious sort of things for you guys from Randall yesterday?
I thought Randall had a good game, to be honest with you, because he's quite fiery. He wasn't as bad as what they're making out. I thought he had a pretty good game.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that, Marcus. I thought, there was a couple of times where he brought the ball out of defence and started running forward.
Yeah,
aggressive running, which is what we need.
Yeah, no,
sometimes.
Go on, Marcus. Go on.
Sometimes I thought before he wasn't as aggressive enough, but yesterday he was. He had that bit of bite to him.
That's what I mean. It looks like he was doing that Edwards of, I'm going to go in and take you out and let you know I'm here. So just to point out in the chat, it looks like my son has logged into my YouTube account on another device, and hence he's pitting out. For those that want to laugh, my middle name is Reginald George. Don't ask. Obviously, that's my mum's fault. But yeah, Ben is trying to put a load of messages in. I'll get him later. Father Christmas might not turn up next week. So going into Al Haj, which he scored a 6.9. I mean, there was no player that really had a really bad game. Mumba is still my key one for yesterday, but overall, everybody played well. Al Haj, again, showed that class, with that first goal, sort of his footwork is very, very good. He came into this game a bit more because of the style of play, no surprise. The one criticism, though, is taking too long on the ball. He almost rather than receive a pass, then look and then move it, he seemed to want to do too much with his feet on it, and then he would get closed out and then lose the ball, which is what I feel Mumba was having a go at him for when Hardy was going off. But second game, Andy, and impressive again.
Yeah, very impressive. I thought he had a great game yesterday. Yes, he is a little bit slow on the ball sometimes, but he's starting to show his class now. when you've got players around him who are, in that sort of ilk, then you're going to see the best of him. And I think we had that with, you definitely had it with JB yesterday. JB was outstanding yesterday.
Yeah.
And when you've got Bundo outside him as well, running the show on the right, then starting to get a good formation up front there, aren't we?
Yeah, and as Lee Newson has said, and coming on to Bundu next, he was a star man with an 8.5 score on FOTMob. He still had, though, I mean, Lee's just pit. Bundu was unbelievable yesterday, and I hope the change in the last two games could be having feeding on the grass.
Yeah.
The one thing, he still has those little frustrating moments in the game. Sometimes, hang on. Yeah, Sophie. Sometimes when he should be getting at a player and closing players down, and he doesn't. He can be a bit slow to react to the way the game's going. But he sort of, once he gets himself sorted, then he just makes a difference. And Marcus, a really interesting one for me right now. When Whitaker was fit and playing, obviously Bundu, if he came on, he'd be used on the left, and it's not his favoured side. We know, and we did raise it. You got to raise the issues around Whitaker, who wasn't able to get past players, wasn't able to get down that channel like he would do because he was man marked out. Whereas Bundu has done more in the last two games on that right hand side, and the quality of balls going into that box, were just superb yesterday. I think if Whitaker doesn't go in Jan, and I think we all expect him to, if Bundu carries on, there's no way I'm dropping Bundu for Whitaker.
No way. You could just can't go for him because he's, like you said, he's showing a lot more than Whitaker's showing, and he can't go past players, and he does do it. He don't seem to sulk like Whitaker does. When Whitaker loses the ball,
his game, doesn't he?
He throws a slip in.
He just seems to enjoy his game, doesn't he? And yesterday, when he got his goal, you could see what it meant to get that goal. He held the shirt out and giving it all to the fans. That's what you want, isn't it, from your attacking players?
Yeah, I mean, someone said on X yesterday, do some of us have to eat humble pie with Bundu? And to a degree, this is the situation, isn't it? When you've got, can you shut the door, Sophie, please? When you've got, sort of the type of squad that you've had when it's fully fit, you're never going to drop Whitaker generally. So Bundu would always then, when he would come on into an unfavoured position. But I just. It just all round, he lifted. He's got the physique, he's got the pace to get down, and and clearly can put in a good cross. And considering all the injuries and the situation we've got, and also his contract is up for renewal next summer, is that correct? With players due to come in January, it's good that we're seeing Bundu find his feet, and it's exciting to watch, and he will cause defense issues as he's done in the last two games. So really exciting to see. What was Richard said? I noticed Bundu giving lots of spaces since Morgan injury. Yeah, absolutely.
It's good.
It's just, look, it's good that some players are starting to sort of show their ability in this league. Obafemi obviously came off very early on, so there's not really much to show.
Blessing in disguise.
Well, I know, yeah, I'm just going to bring that up, Andy. And even Ed sat next to me said, "Oh, that's not too much of a worry." But when we have a squad injury list that's very high, you don't want to be wishing players off injured. And I did feel he also contributed far better against United than he has done in previous games. So, he's going to be missed, and we'll come on to that in a second. And then obviously Hardy up front with a 7.4. He did do well yesterday. Got to run. Grimshaw and a few others made him run to the corners a lot to pick up some balls. But I thought Hardy was pretty good. It's a shame, he wasn't able to get on the score sheet. And I think when he gets that opportunity, that's going to give him a big lift. That was the FOTMob player ratings overall there. Stats, just come on to that before we go through these injuries and the up and coming games and what we're going to do there. So possession overall, it's saying 55-45. Second half was where we commanded 60+%, and I think that was quite clear. when they scored their goals, they didn't really take too much of the game from us afterwards. Total shots 12 to us and 17 to them. Interesting. Shots on target 5 to their 6. Big chances 6 to their 4. What else have we got in here? In corners 3 to their 6. So, again, it's these silly sort of set pieces that we give away. A few unforced, we're just playing it safe, but set pieces we've definitely got to work on. So the injuries, so if we recap that, Pleggy was off sick. I didn't know that until I asked the question of the group earlier. So that's why he wasn't on the sub bench. Hardy, obviously, we just discussed with that knee gash. That's a stitch and could be out for 10 days. Obafemi, we just mentioned, and Galloway, who went off as well. Hopefully with not a similar recurring injury. So against Coventry in the next 2 away games, Coventry Boxing Day and then Oxford on New Year's Eve. What do you do up front then, Andy? With only Gray as
Andre
the
Gray.
main striker?
Andre Gray's got to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or you try the youngster. You bring in Tegan Finn. Why not?
Is Tegan Finn classed as a striker though, or is he a bit
No,
like a Zaka?
No, Tegan Finn's class as like Whittaker style of player.
He knows what the onion bag is.
Yeah, well, that's clear. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
clear. It brings up that whole debate on using. We brought it up. Marcus has been a big advocate of it, and rightly so. With Tegan Finn, for those that have joined us tonight, it's sort of almost like, yes, he is 16, but if he's able to find the back of the net, then you've got to look at those options. I think it's almost. For me, Izaka will obviously naturally replace Obafemi, and if we carry on playing the style that we've done, and Izaka is class as an attacker, so he can obviously cut in and take those that position equally. I think with Bundu on the right, with Sissoko, fingers crossed, due to come back potentially against Oxford. We could see something really interesting there, even with the injury crisis that we've still got. But
I mean, the natural thing is to have Gray up front, isn't it? Because he's a striker, isn't he? But
and he's
will
just
he last 90 minutes with his legs and all that against
Well,
Coventry?
he just doesn't. Yeah, he's definitely. He does get stuck in fairness to him, someone also noted he left the pitch at the end and went straight into the dressing room. Someone said to me yesterday, but it's just nothing, no foundation on it. Just we're chatting away and said that he hasn't been offered a deal yet. That doesn't surprise me, considering he was brought in as a bit of an emergency. He can clearly find the back of the net now, Marcus, can't he? So, but he's not one I feel that they're likely to keep. And I think Drewsnip said on the breakfast chat, there's 2 players that signings for January that are very, very close already. Is that right?
So they say, and to be honest with you, I've got a feeling I can't see us keeping Gray if we're getting in Dan's.
Yeah,
I just can't see it. I think if we was going to keep Gray, we would have offered him a contract by now. You wouldn't wait till January.
No,
you would get it.
Yeah,
you would get it done by now.
Yeah,
you would get it done. Go on.
To me, to you.
Me and my big mouth. Yeah,
the Chuckle Brothers.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. I think a deal would have been done, and and it's but hopefully, I mean, the crazy thing is that we're now going to rely on him to over the next couple of games to put in a performance. But he's ever the professional. We know he can hit the target and find the back of the net. That was quite clear with the quality of goals against Watford. So. Coming into those games and gents, so yeah, we're bottom of the league, as we said at the start, I'm not too despondent because of the shift change in these performances, away and at home. It's Coventry up on Boxing Day, obviously Lampard and Rooney going at it in the dugout, obviously Carrick and Rooney yesterday. What do we think from that? I think if we can carry that momentum, and I reckon the players will be even more determined, if I'm honest now, after dropping the lead 3 times. Can we see our first away win, Andy?
Yep. Here you go. I'll nail my sort of flag to the mast, and there I'll say it. We're going to get our first away win against Coventry.
Yeah.
They got beat. Was it Portsmouth beat them 4-0?
Was it? Yeah, big defeat, wasn't it?
Pompey beat them 4-0. I know they're playing at Fratton Park, but we can go up there in the form that we're in at the minute. I mean, we haven't been playing too badly. All right, we've lost one and drawn one, and you say that's form, but our performance has been really much improved since Phelan's been there, and I think that's going to just get improved when the players come back. When Sissoko comes back and when Edwards comes back and all those key players come back.
Yeah, well, straight from that then, Marcus, Coventry, and then we've got Oxford on New Year's Day, which are obviously equally in a free-for-all. Yes, I know they've got, Carl raised this, they got Rowett now as their manager. I mean, they did get thumped. It was Leeds away 4-0 yesterday, but this again, I mean, I did on Sunday. We sort of said Middlesbrough was going to be the toughest game of this next run of 4 games. That we got coming up with, so close together. So it was great to see the performance and get a point, even though it should have been 3. So I think Coventry and Oxford, if we carry on like that, we're going to give them problems on their own turf, aren't they, Marcus?
I think our main problems now is if Galloway's out, who's going to replace him? Because I ain't got no confidence on better. So I would rather play Pleggy in that position.
Well, that was the option I said in the chat, didn't I?
Yeah.
I didn't know if it's his natural position, though, is it?
No, it's not.
He has played in that position before.
Was that right back, isn't it? Because of
yeah,
he's right back.
He's centre back, right back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I spoke to Gavin on this, and he said, I think, in fairness, he said, although Ogbeta did, make a silly decision, and given that, he got a yellow card for it as well, that foul that led up to them getting the second equaliser, no sooner having come on the pitch as well. He did pit in a fantastic cross for Bundu to pit away for our third. I think because we've seen so many players changed so drastically. We've just talked about Bundu since we've started playing attacking again and playing him in his more natural position. I think let's see what happens at Coventry. If Ogbeta starts, he could have a really good game, because I think we've seen so much negative over these run of games since Blackburn that you do start questioning every player, and then you think, oh, awful. I mean, Paulson's probably the one that you really, nicest way, you don't want to see come on. But I think with Ogbeta, let's just see what happens. We might not have that choice, so he might have to start on the left. And we got to just get behind him and support that and see how he does. But I think if Pleggy's one of those that if he gets a sniff at a position to come on and play, he will put everything behind that to try and sustain that. So that's probably the choices that we have got. But could we? It would be so sort of ironic to see 2 back-to-back wins, and I'm going to go out there and say that's what we're going to achieve: 2 back-to-back wins after not getting a win for so long. Let's go and do it, lift ourselves out of that relegation zone, get these players back. It'd be great if we can see Sissoko against Oxford, but let's not risk him if he's not quite right, and I know that they won't do that. But yeah, Andy, two wins of the next 2 games.
I'll take 4 points. Take 4 points. I think Oxford are beatable because they are in freefall, but new manager. They're playing at Kassam as well. That's going to be a difficult place to go to. I think Coventry. They both ship goals, haven't they? So there's a possibility of 6 points, but I'm not going to sort of put my neck on the block for that one.
No,
put a jinx on it.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted 3-2 in my when I did my TikTok video about the game, and before kickoff, and sort of I was chatting to Ray, your mate who sits next to us in Block 9 there at half time, and I said, "Oh, Ray," I said, "I went 3-2 for this game," and he said, "Oh, the weather, the heavy rain, the wind." He said it's probably going to be a goal in it that gets it. And then that second half, when it went 3-2 up, I thought, "Oh my God, I've got a scoreline right." And then thanks to Mumba and Middlesbrough, they wiped that out. So, but yeah, I'm definitely feeling in a much better place. I'm always positive for those that see me with my videos and stuff. I always don't like to be too negative, but yeah, exactly. So for me, I don't know. That's just me. I'm always positive.
Yeah, of course we were.
So yeah, what's the point in being negative all the time? And
that's Swansea game, mate. Oh no, come on, I'm getting out of here. Come on, I'm going now.
Well, I'm allowed one blip every now and then. So, speaking of which, Andy, has our fellow fan has suddenly gone quiet again after sort of jumping on certain sessions recently? Craig the Mac.
Yeah, it's probably hiding back under his rock again, isn't he, somewhere?
Yeah. Look, everybody's got their own opinion. So, Marcus, are you going with 6 points? Or are you going with 4?
I'll go for 4, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't 6.
Yeah. Let's end it on.
We're playing so much better football.
Yeah, it's
You know?
look, it's good. It's good that that
I'll
we're
be-
talking
yeah.
about that, and so I think we'll leave it at there as we nearly crossed the hour threshold. There's a lot of people in, for us, there's a lot of people, 139 people. Andy, Marcus, that I can see in here right now. For those that joined us at the start, for those that joined us halfway through and have come in at the end, look, we are the Block 9 podcast. You got myself, Mike the Crazy Pilgrim, Andy, also known as a Grumpy Loyal, and Marcus, also known as Marcus.
Sergeant Major Williams.
Yeah, we just want to bring. We love talking about Argyle, and everybody's view is their view, it's their opinion. We've always stayed positive over the whole Rooney saga. Certainly questioned certain things, but it's good to be back, and it's good to be talking positive. Post-match analysis again. Look, we started on TikTok, we brought it over now to YouTube and X and Facebook, which, if I have a look, we did have someone earlier joining us on there who may still be in with us. So we appreciate all those that have come in. Look, give us a follow. We sort of will keep putting post-match analysis out as and when we can. If we can get round to doing preview games as well, we will also do that. Obviously, it's a busy schedule coming up, so we'll see what we can fit in off the back of the Boxing Day match and certainly the new year. And then it's Bristol City, isn't it, at home? And then it's Stoke in those sort of first quick games coming up from New Year. So, yeah, look, it's been a really good evening. Like I said, we'll come back with Carl, hopefully, as well, who normally joins us, who's been ill. He's either working late shifts or at the moment he's got the flu. But look, yeah, we'd like to bring you a different style of content. We had a video earlier of the goals. We do normally have a slide deck, which just shows the stats, the lineup, and gives just a bit more of an interactive content to it. For those that want to know as well, Andy does a lot of lives on TikTok as a Grumpy Loyal on there. He does a bit of a crazy show, Loyal's Lounge, on Friday, or it seems to have turned into that way from reading the comments. And then you also do your championship chats.
He's got his own X Factor show.
Say again, Marcus?
Marcus is
He's
singing
got his
next week,
own
by
X
the way.
Factor show.
Yeah. Marcus is going to do a Christmas special next week. He's going to come on and sing for us.
What, the Janice song? Hey, look, we all weren't doing videos until we sort of decided to get together. Originally under the HP source, for those that remember, and now it seems to be an addictive thing. But anyway, that's it from myself, Andy, Marcus. Thank you for your company again tonight, everybody. Thank you for checking in, and keep following us. We'll let you know when we're next on. But have a good evening. Have a great Christmas as well, everybody.
Have a great Christmas, guys. Season's greetings to all.
Take it easy, guys.